Ah,
Hello, we have Abby, and we have Heather, and we have me, Eric's mommy. And we're going to have a great time. This is the first time we've done this 3-panel discussion. Well, me, the, I just ask questions. I can't really channel very well. I do a little bit, but
You
anyway,
can
I want
too.
y'all to start out by just introducing yourself. We all just went and had our little breaks and came back, and Abby had to rush home from the hospital because she works there.
yes. Thank you for your service, Abby.
Thank you very
Hey,
much.
no problem. This got me out of doing a COVID patient, so
Oh, what do you do at the hospital?
I'm learning CAT scan right now. I'm an X-ray tech.
That's awesome. My daughter Michelle works as an ER nurse.
Oh,
So
nice.
loves it. Okay, so go ahead, Abby. Tell us about yourself in the spiritual sense.
Sure. Well, my name's Abby Dagnes, and basically, I started reading cards when I was 9.
Oh,
My great-grandmother, she was super, maybe not super psychic, but she was a medium. They had different like names for them back then. She's actually from like the Salem, Lynn area.
ooh.
So,
We're
yeah.
all from witch trials, actually.
Oh,
Mhm.
like Kim Voight. You know about her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
she was Sarah Good. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. No. So yeah, she was from there, and I inherited her gypsy witch cards when I was 9 and taught myself to like my own spreads and how to read cards. I didn't touch tarot until I was a little bit older. But I just always was kind of into cards and into that stuff. Since I was a little kid, I always had experiences with seeing and feeling and smelling and sensing spirit, and it was terrifying. And back in the 80s, it's not like we had Google like we do now. There wasn't YouTube that I could see that other people were having these experiences. The closest thing to it was Unsolved Mysteries, and I mean, the music to the beginning of that is terrifying, let alone the show when you're like 10 years old.
I know.
So it scared me. And so I shied away from it. My dad was actually studying to be a Baptist minister.
Oh,
So
God. Oh, no. This is just getting better and better.
Right?
So I was brought up to believe in like a heaven and a hell as if they're like just physical places. And I was brought up to believe in, that the devil is real. Although I still believe in Santa Claus. So we're not going to talk about that.
Of course. What do you mean?
Amen.
Of course.
So
We go to Norway for Christmases in our little cabin. Yeah. We see Santa Claus sometimes. It's awesome. You hear that, kids? Go ahead.
Yeah.
yeah, so I remember having arguments at the dinner table with him. I mean, he had the Bible pretty much memorized, and I would just sit there, and I just had this like feeling of knowing, that I just knew that there were past lives, future lives. There were just things in discussions that like, I'm 38 years old, so like in hindsight it's 2020, so I look back at these like really deep concepts and conversations that I was having as a really young child. And it's like, I just knew, that there was more. I was, like I said, I was seeing spirits and experiencing them. And like a lot of people do, just as I got a little older, I just did everything I could to push it aside, and then it didn't completely go away, but it did for a little while. And then in my adult life, I went through a really bad time where I was just making really bad decisions and got involved with the wrong people. And it just kind of gave me my own spiritual awakening, and
probably part of a contract. You probably needed that.
yeah,
The whole Baptist ministry thing, and to that accept your own spiritual beliefs.
Yeah, well, I did everything right when I was younger. I went to school, I got degrees in college, and then I met the wrong person, and he dragged me down, and I was in a really rough spot. And then I think that's where I found myself, and I really found like just my natural abilities, really. They came to light. I dealt with issues with like addiction and things. So as soon as I started to become sober again was when it's like my third eye just kind of exploded. it was just, my guides told me that, and still continue to remind me that like it was part of my contract. And I wasn't supposed to have
Yep.
my full abilities until I went
That's
through,
when you
you know,
found
those experiences
Yeah.
with addiction and
Yeah,
Eric found you.
why is that? Why is it that, first of all, why is it that so many psychics, psychic mediums, etc., are raised in the with the Baptist thing going on, or some really strict, you know, it's channeling is wrong. You're talking to the devil. Why did they have to be raised in that? And
That's the Hierophant
why
card
did
in
they have to go
tarot.
through so much shit before
I've asked
them?
I've asked them that, and my guides are actually telling me right now that specifically it's because you can understand more people, and it helps you, actually they're saying it helps you be more empathic.
That makes sense.
And Eric actually is saying it's like me, Mom. He's reminding you of like the times that he'd have all of his friends over for dinner.
Yeah.
And like you'd be kind of adopting, like he's like, yeah, my mom had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, 12 at one time boys that she was calling her kids. And
I know. I said,
children.
hey, can you bring over your papers next time? I would, that's true. I would adopt them. Eric would meet people like in Starbucks or whatever, and they would, I don't know, just cry. Just start talking to him, and they would sob and share their story. And he would just take them under his wing and say, hey, I'm going to take you to my mom's, and she's going to cook you a homemade meal.
He's saying something too, that it has something to do with the ego and how it brings you down a notch, so that way you can open up about your vibration level, about how it opens up your vibrations more to be able to help understand and appreciate, and something about maintaining like under solidarity and understanding, so you can actually let somebody else talk and you can like really feel them. And yeah, this is kind of interesting. He's saying something right now about how it has something to do with the healing energy also with the situation. When you're talking to somebody that really does like understand, and they're at that sincere level, and they're not using their ego and judgment, he's showing me this like power exchange, this equal energy exchange between the two of you, because there's a giving and there's a receiving in that, and that actually helps with the healing process for both of you, really. You know, that's interesting.
Wow, that is. But yeah, I guess you have to go through hardship to really break down your ego. I mean, I had most of the ego slapped out of my ass after raising 5 kids. Not all of it, of course, you know, but
Oh my God, yeah, tell me
quite
about
a
it.
flawed human being. But
Yeah.
and hardships and stuff, which I'm so grateful for. That's cool. Anything else you want to share, Abby?
Just basically, you know, Eric came into my life about 7 years ago. I was homeless with my 6-year-old son, and he was 5 at the time. And I was sitting on a bunk, which is him. I pushed all of my friends and all my family away. And, you know, I was in that moment where it was just like, I felt like maybe my son would be better off, you know, not with me.
Yeah.
And that I would be better off not here. Okay, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And
So I typed into, you know, Google something about like, or no, it was YouTube. I actually went into YouTube and I typed in something about like, you know, is there really an afterlife or something? No, I kind of knew because of like,
yeah.
just of my, you know,
Well, you
I
wanted
don't
a second
know.
opinion.
Yeah. So I just did, and then up popped the very first Channeling Eric video. And I was in that place for about, the place I was staying, the homeless shelter, for about 30 days. And I had just enough videos built up to keep my mind occupied and busy for the time that I was there. And then my last day was the last video. And by the time I left there, it was like I had this whole nother like way of looking at
Channeling
myself.
Eric videos? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah, because it just was like reaffirming. It just kind of gave me my confidence back, because these were concepts and things that I had always kind of known. And it was just nice to, where I was in such a place of like low confidence, just just having that reaffirmation, you know, just having somebody be like, hey, this is I'm not just crazy. Like, this is really how I've always thought, and it's true.
And Erik is very relatable. He's not like, welcome, my
Mhm.
dear
Well,
one.
so are you.
It's like,
So
yeah,
are you, Mama.
I know, but we're talking about, so you probably felt like you could connect with him because he's so authentic, blunt, and loving, but blunt and on your same level. I mean, you're authentic and you're real, and
I try and be, yeah. So I just like, I wanted to hit upon that for a really important reason. And it's like really my focus with this and why I do this. I want to hit, I mean, a lot of people hit like, I have my own group and stuff. And I mean, I have a full-time career. So I use my group and being a medium as an outlet, like in fun, but really I want to hit the people that are not hitting the like button, or that are not doing the comments, because it took years and years before like I was brave enough to actually start like being a part of the conversation, and that I know Heather feels the same way I do.
Yeah.
And Laura does, and Kevin does, and Felicia does. And it's just like, there's so many people out there that are watching this that can relate to your story, with like anybody's story, with domestic violence and bipolarism and feeling like you just shouldn't be here, and like you're just trying to figure it out. And it's like, okay, I'll be here for a little bit longer and see if I can handle this, So, I just really hope that people understand that they're not alone. And there's a lot of us that go through that. And it doesn't make them any less human. It makes them actually more energetically soul-filled human than they'll ever can understand by the time they get through it. And there's always a way out on the other side.
Yeah, and that is what I want. You guys, of course, recommended this, and through Erik and from you, the holidays and getting through that. But Erik, there's this one great post from Erik about a break from being human, in channeling Erik. Just look for break from being human. Sometimes we don't need to kill ourselves. Sometimes we just need a break from being human. And sometimes it's just all about a tiny little shift in perspective, dudes. It's like we're on a chessboard and we're just like, a lot of times we're just like pawns being shoved around by this toxic relationship and this toxic environment, this crappy boss, and this hardship and this loss and this blah, 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 pushing us around until we fall flat on our face. But it's everything we have going on here is what we asked for, okay? And so sometimes and Erik says in this one post, I'm pretty sure, that if you just raise yourself above and look down at that chessboard as the chess player, okay, you are all of a sudden not the pawn. You are the one who is pushing, the bishop to this, that. I don't know anything about chess, but whatever.
I can definitely
and just like you are the one that's pushing yourself as a pawn around on purpose. And what you're doing is such a gift to yourself and others, very often, if you're the teacher. And, it's just like, if you could just take a break and look at that other perspective, then, you might live to see another day and another week and another month and another year and another lifetime. So anyway.
But I think that's why a lot of people like have issues with drugs and stuff, especially people that are super empathic and are, first off, I think everybody's gifted. Everybody has the ability to be a medium or a psychic medium. I hate that word psychic, but anyway, anybody can do it. But it's like, you don't want to feel, you don't want to experience, you want to stop feeling for a little while. And you hit the nail on the head when you said that you want to stop like being human for just a little bit. I definitely felt that way. There was a little while where it was like, okay, this is just, hold up, this is too much for me. Like, I know I pre-planned this all and yada yada, but like, this is not.
And it's so
I'm gonna have a break time. Hey, somebody come take this dog out to pee. She's shaking.
Oh my goodness. Hi, baby. And it's so okay to do that. You
I
know, and
know.
I did that for 3 months. I laid in my bed for 3 months because I needed to stop being human for a little while.
Yeah, I want your story too now. Unless Abby's got something else to say.
Yes, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead by all means. Yeah, that's
I
pretty
don't
much
know,
it.
but what Abby, what you said, and Elisa, what you said, you guys really touched my heart. I mean, people need to hear that tonight, or whenever we're going to air this, but we need to air this really soon,
Yeah, we
because
will.
this I'm telling you, what both of you said really touched my heart, and I think it's going to touch a lot of people's hearts, because we all are in this together, and it is hard. My story is very long. I'm actually writing a book. It's called Raised on Guilt Trips and Government Cheese. So that tells
I
you a little
love it.
bit
Oh
about
my God.
but I was born an identical twin. So we had the twin thing. I've always been a psychic medium since I can remember. I was 3 years old when we moved into a haunted house on Orr's Island in Maine, and we actually moved out 6 weeks later. That's how haunted it was.
Oh, gosh.
And there was a rocking chair in our room that would rock back and forth. My mother actually wrote an article about it in the 70s,
Oh,
and it was published in a magazine. I wish I could find that. So I could see it, and I used to. I've always been able to communicate. I was the strange one. I was the quiet one, because I was always watching. But one night my mother was woken up by the spirit and said, "Go check the girls." And she thought it was my father, and she rolled over and he was snoring. So she's like, "Oh, I was just hearing things, or it was a dream." And it shook her, literally shook her, and said, "Go check the girls."
wow.
So she went in to check on us, and my head was stuck between the headboard and the mattress, and I was turning blue. So
Oh
it's
God. Oh.
yeah.
Hmm.
So that's my earliest memory
Well,
from
who was it? Was it your guardian angel or her
just
guardian angel?
whoever was in the house. There was a rocking chair in our room that used
Oh,
to
there was a spirit in the earthbound
there
spirit in
was
the
a
house?
spirit in the house, and it would watch over my sister and I,
Oh,
and rock, and the chair would rock all the time. So the neighbors would complain that there was a party. We were having a party on our wraparound porch when all the lights were out, but it sounded like glasses clinking and people cheering, and the
wow.
lights turn on and off all night long. So that was my earliest memory. But fast forward, because I could, my story's pretty, I always said if I wrote my story nobody would believe it, but it's I'm going to do it in a funny way because that's my personality. But my sister used to use me as a party favor when we'd go out as teenagers, or young adults, because it wasn't popular back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Oh, read this person, read that person." And so that's the only time I ever did it. um and I used to predict things before they happened. I didn't think much of it, I really didn't. It just felt normal to me. um but then uh I became a registered nurse, and in my career, things would happen where I'd be like, "Oh my God, this is totally spirit." And that will be in the book, but it's really freaking fascinating. um but what happened in my awakening was, it started, I don't know, about 10 years ago. And my daughter was diagnosed at 13 with a very rare autoimmune disease called Behçet's disease. And we were in and out of the hospital for 2 years, and I fought for her diagnosis. And and she's still at 24 years old getting infusions every 4 weeks.
Oh,
My
wow.
son at 12
Hi again, Abby.
was was severely bullied, became suicidal. We had to admit him to the hospital. We had to commit him, and he was diagnosed with bipolar with schizoaffective tendencies. And then my husband and I separated, and I moved into low income housing. And so we went through that, and then ended up getting back together and bought a house. And then um my mother was diagnosed with mesothelioma, and it was terminal.
Yeah.
So we brought her home and did hospice for 30 days at home. They actually use our story for hospice training in the county that we live in, because it was such a beautiful story. So I laid with my mother every single night, holding her hand for 30 days straight. And she passed away, and then a few months later, my father couldn't live without her and took his own life on Father's Day.
Oh, goodness.
I got to him when he was still awake, and I got to hold him and tell him everything I wanted to tell him, and hold his hand when he took his last breath. And then I got all their stuff in my house, and I was like, what am I going to do with all this fucking shit? I mean, my mother would go to yard sales and buy the whole table, and she was a wicked pack rat. So, but the year and a half later, we lost our house in a fire. It was a freak accident.
Oh.
And it's still questionable to this day whether the contractor who caused the fire committed suicide. Several months later.
Yeah.
And then I was diagnosed with ALS. And so what happened ultimately during all of this, I had to, what you guys said, I had to stop being human for a little while. I had to step away. And I think you all who are listening can relate to this, to where it's just so overwhelming what you're going through. We know there's a lesson in there somewhere and blah, 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 look at the bright side and all that bullshit. That's hard to do sometimes. Sometimes you just need to stop. So it was summertime, and I went to bed. I laid in bed for 3 months. I got up to shower, to pee, to eat, whatever, but I never left the house. I kind of lost touch with everybody, and I just shut down. And I had to decide, do I want to live or die? Is this what do I want to do? Do I want to take this experience? Did I go through all this for nothing, just to die? Or did I go through all this for a reason? Or am I to use this to help others? Because should I tell my story? Because it wasn't even really it's people look at you funny when you talk about your story. People are afraid to tell their stories, but we learn and grow from that.
But a lot of them have. There are
what Abbey shared, being vulnerable like that is going to save somebody's life.
Exactly.
Well, especially all of us. All of us in the medical field with really professional careers. And the last thing is for clinically speaking, for anybody that or you work with or could possibly know or work with, to know anything other than just that you have a level-headed mind, that you're thinking.
You're not crazy. You just, and that's the thing, is I knew I wasn't crazy, and I knew people were looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I said, I'm doing what I need to do.
Well, Abbey, I want to get back to you. So what have you seen? Because to me, I feel like we're in this whole situation like we were back in the day. I remember so well when we thought the earth was flat. And then, and then somebody,
so this is what
no, it is round. And he was so much shit. And I'm wondering if the medical community is going through that too, where they still think the earth is flat.
Yes. And so what happened was, and yes, I'm still an RN, but I believe that our biggest failure in the medical system is that we do not combine the mind, body, and spirit. That we don't. It's all like Western medicine. It's all science. But what happened when I spent that 3 months in bed, right?
Yeah.
You come to this conclusion, what do you want to do? So to come out of this, and this wasn't really a conscious thing. It just happened.
Yeah.
I don't like bugs. And in at this time of year where I lived, it was really woody. So there was a lot of those horse flies, those hurt.
Yeah.
And the bugs out. So I didn't really go outside during that time of year much. And I wasn't really walking in the woods. I didn't, I was worried about ticks and shit. But what I did was I got out of bed. I was like, you know what? I want to live. I need to fulfill my purpose. And I got out of bed and just went through the motions, but I walked outside, took my socks off, sat down in the grass.
You got bit by a scorpion. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
It's Maine. Sounds good, but this is me. A tick would have sounded, more realistic.
Yeah, that's true.
So I went outside. I took my socks off, and I have really sensitive feet, so that's not something I would have done either. And I sat on the grass, had my feet planted on the ground and laid back on the ground, and gave myself to whatever it was that I was doing. And all of a sudden, all these fucking dragonflies started flying around, like 50 dragonflies. And I could see the trees and breathing. Like it was like a religious experience.
Yeah. Yeah. But not in the organized religious kind of way.
No, I don't believe in I respect all religions, but I don't believe in organized religion where it's all under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's basically my story, but
Well, okay, so Abbey, what do you see? And then let's go on to how we can help people cope through the holidays. But first I want to ask you, what do you see with the medical professionals, not just doctors, but all the your fellow nursing staff and respiratory therapists, all that. What do you see as far as what their beliefs are? I mean, are they closeted and they really kind of believe and it ekes out somehow? Because I find that true. Like when I went to a Christmas party with my husband, I don't know anybody there. It's this work thing. Okay, so and they asked me, "What do you do?" Well, I'm a doctor, physician. Oh, what kind? Internist. Okay, so blah blah blah. And it said, "Okay, well, where do you practice?" I don't anymore. When my kid killed himself, I decided to do something different. Oh, well, what do you do? It's like, oh no, I'm taking my no, you do. Oh yeah, you ought to do it. And so when I do, they're, oh my God, I'm so glad you're talking about this because the other day I saw two angels by my dumpster. Oh my God. So there's a lot of people in the closet they're afraid to admit. So
and they're happy to hear you say that. Yeah.
I was completely.
What do you see?
It's so funny you're bringing this up. Okay, so it wasn't until just recently, because like I always wanted to maintain this really professional like level, and that's not really something we talk about in the hospital, like our religious beliefs. So I was like super closeted, really closeted, and it was hard because like I remember my first week in CAT scan, a young gentleman actually came in, and very unfortunately he shot himself in the head.
Oh.
And but the problem was that like he was there. And I could sense him, and I could just kind of experience. I was like getting a sense of what he was experiencing as he's watching us do what we were doing and stuff. And
wait, was you doing the CAT scan on him?
Yeah, because he shot himself in the head.
Was he alive?
No, he wasn't alive, but his body was being held alive by machines. So
why did the CAT scan
in his body? But he was technically he was technically brain dead. But like in CAT scan, when a patient comes in the hospital, like a trauma like that, they come right to the ER, and usually they go right to CAT scan.
Why?
So, well, they obviously want to see the damage to his brain.
Okay. Yeah.
If the bullet, like what it hit and where it went and what happened, for all different kinds of reasons.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was like pretty interesting because after, they harvested his organs and all that, but like he still kept coming into my mind like a lot. And so I had to you know, have a little chat with him one night and just, I don't know, help him understand, you know, and kind of understand that, yeah, it really happens. It's real, you know, and we're going to help cross you over. Because, so at the time, it was tough because he had 2 little kids, you know, and they were my son's age, and he was my age, and it was just like, it was emotional for me to, like, I could feel his emotion, and I can feel his, oh my God, I actually did it. Oh my God, I actually did it. Like, what was I?
But do you see anything from like doctors or fellow nurses or whatever say, wow, when this person died, I saw their spirit, or I saw this person who came to get them?
One of the PAs at my hospital, he's so approachable. A lot of doctors and stuff, they're not as approachable to talk to about like that. They're too busy. And it's just like, you don't want to look weird talking about that. I mean, at least that's how I feel. And nobody really knew I was a medium yet and did this, so it looked even weirder.
I talked about it a lot because I have no filter. You know that.
I know.
But I didn't
When I was
until
an RN, I talked about it a lot with the doctors.
Yeah.
So I asked one of the PAs, because you know, he's seen a lot of people pass, if like he had any experiences or seen anything, and he said that he hadn't noticed drastically anything because he wasn't looking for it, because he was too in the moment of trying to keep the person alive. So that seems to be like, because I work where I work, I'm with the ER docs and the ER nurses a lot, and they're right, that's what they're focused on, what they're engaged in at the moment, versus like, you know, something in the air or whatever, or a shift. But it kind of opened his mind now to like paying more attention to those things. And I'd say about a week later, one of the other doctors, somebody had passed away in the room. And I don't know if the doctors had been talking about my question or something, because they had been talking amongst each other, but another doctor pulled me aside. He said, I heard about your question, and I want to let you know that right before the patient passed, he actually looked right up in the air and said, oh my gosh, my mom, there really is a white light. Heaven's real. This is beautiful. I'm going now. Bye. And he passed.
Wow. So listen, this could be a really cool research paper for you. It would really survey all the doctors and say you had experiences like this. But let's go on to helping people through the holidays. It's hard. It used to be super hard for me. Now it's better because I work with Erik every day with this scalar energy thing, and so I'm with him all the time. But still, you know, I don't get the hugs. You know, damn it. But so, how do you help people get through when they've had loss, not just loss of a loved one, but so much loss in their life for this horrible year, the COVID year, and all that crap?
Erik's stepping up now.
Erik, what do you say?
It's my time.
Let's start with you, Heather. Erik.
Okay, so we want to talk to Erik. All right.
I gotta open the door because this dog is driving me nuts.
All right, I'm gonna
talk.
You
know. Keep talking.
So yeah, when I channel Erik, I'm still here. I don't leave my body, but he's part of me. So I end up like having some of his mannerisms. And the funny thing is when I channel, it's different because when I talk regularly, I tend to pause and skip and, you know, not talk in a fluid manner. But when I'm channeling, it's usually a very fluid channel and it's very quick. So he's already part of me right now and he's already channeling. So he's here. And the reason why I reached out to Elisa, and he's saying, I reached out to Mama. He's like, and he keeps saying, yo, Mommy-o. I wanted to reach out to Yo Mommy-o because we really need to talk about this. And it's such a fucking hard time of year. And it's so hard when we can't be there and we can't physically hug you. And you have no idea how much we want to. We want to be there and we want to feel that. We want to feel that warmth. We want to feel the kiss. We want to open presents. We want the hot chocolate. the stupid shit that we thought was bullshit when we were kids. You know, it would be like, oh my God, matching pajamas again, or, you know, this, that is, that stuff you can't recreate where I am, Mama. You can't. And I wish that I had embraced it more while I was there. And I want everybody to know that you've got to embrace this. You got to embrace the stupid shit that your parents put on you, because you can take it with you, but you can't feel it anymore. So feel it while you're here.
Yeah.
And those that you've lost, I know that it hurts. I know that you really want the old things that used to do together, the things that used to annoy you, you know, and about them, or, you know, you didn't think you were appreciated. They're still there. And okay, do you
remember?
God,
your hand movements are so like Erik.
Do you remember those?
Right there. Go ahead.
Mamacita, you remember those glasses that we'd put on to see the Christmas lights, and they'd be like in different shapes?
Yeah.
Those, I loved that. They'd be like, oh, trippy. Oh my God. Now they're like stars, or now they're like freaking, he's like, it's hippie shit. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. You know, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. And those are we don't lose those memories when we've passed. We still have that. That's why we carry DNA with us that has been damaged, because we don't lose that stuff. And we come back in lifetimes, and our DNA needs to be healed, or our past trauma needs to be healed, because we don't go on the other side and become somebody else. We're still the same person.
Yeah.
And we're still there. And you can feel us. Put your hand out. Put your hand out right now. Left hand receives, right hand gives. Put your left hand out and feel that person that you want so much to connect with. And feel the heat. The heat is coming now. Feel that heat. Motherfuckers, I am giving that to you, and they're there. Feel the heat. That is them. That is me. That's them.
Change, Erik?
Mommy, all that's to you, that's me.
Can it be a cold, heat, numbness, tingling, any kind of sensation that's different?
It's heat.
Heat.
Mama, I'm giving them heat. That's what you're gonna feel. Hold your left hand up and feel the heat. If you can't feel it, you have to clear your mind. And
say, make it stronger. That's what Erik's taught me. Make it stronger. Make it stronger.
It's there. And if you have to put your hand out further to meet them, you can. If you have to put it up higher, you can. If you have to put it lower, you can. Do what your body tells you, because all you got to do is hold up your left hand and follow what your hand tells you to do, because your loved one is right there and they want to touch you. And you know how hard it is for us to come down there and to meet you. You got to meet us halfway, dudes. You know, it's not that easy.
Yeah, it's all physical.
Honest to God,
it's all physical. You know, because
the cats attacking the trees. Cats are so fucking easy to manipulate.
Oh God, yeah.
Your cats attacking the trees, yes, they love the shiny shit, but we also can manipulate cats very easily, much more easier than dogs.
Yeah.
But yes, and feathers. Watch for feathers right now. Wow. Feathers are coming. There's a David. There's a David to somebody who passed, and they passed in December, and they're there. Oh, and there's also a oh shit. Jacoby. Okay, you put something blue on the tree for him. There's something blue on the tree. He loves that. So David says, hi, I love you, I miss you, I'm here. I'm sorry that I passed during this time of year. Do not relate this time of year to when I passed, because that, time is nothing on the other side. Don't worry about the time of year. I mean, we have cell memory to when things have happened, or when somebody's died, or somebody started to get sick. We're like, all of a sudden we get all fucking depressed and shit, and we start drinking more or whatever. But then afterwards you realize, oh my God, this is when my father was diagnosed with such and such, and then he died. That cell memory can be changed. It's not the cell memory that matters. It's the fact that he's, and David is talking about creating new memories with Christmas. New memories. He's talking about snowball fights. Did you buy something? Did you buy one of those snowball makers, or one of those things those were fucking awesome. I mean, you could build like this whole, protection fort to protect yourself from the snow. Start that snowball fight. Oh my God, they're gonna fucking love that.
By the way, I love your shirt. Show everybody your shirt.
Oh,
No doubt.
Eric, I was gonna take it off, and he's like, don't you dare take that off. So it says balls, but you know what? It's blue balls.
Oh,
like, nobody likes blue balls, dude. Fuck that. But yeah,
that's Eric. What can you do?
He's okay. So he doesn't want. He's like, he wants to be the center of attention. He wants to be the show. He's like, I gotta step aside because I need to let Abbey talk, because I brought Abbey here, and I need to let Abbey talk. So I'm gonna step away.
I think you're doing a great job, Heather.
And let Abbey talk. No, he wants you to talk right now.
Okay. So I'm a little bit different than Heather is. Heather has like no qualms about repeating every single verbatim word because, he's profane. We know this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just, the Baptist.
Oh shit, did I swear a lot? I
swear. I swear a lot.
Anyway.
Just Abbey, get out of your comfort zone. Repeat word for word what the fuck he says. Go ahead.
He's actually yelling at me.
Thank you.
Going, chill the fuck out.
Yes.
Okay, so
he's giving you because the reason why he's passing this on to you, and he's saying this right now, is because you have messages for loved ones, and this is blanket. There's a blanket message. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. He's like, shut up, Heather, shut up.
I was picking up a Bill or William, and I'm seeing a man with darker hair. He's got a thicker build. I don't know how to put that any different than that. He's a big dude. All right. I'm asking for an age right now. He's saying 62. So I don't know if he was 62 or early 60s. He's showing himself to me in a uniform. Like I think he was either police officer or no, he was retired. So he was doing something with like volunteering for like the fire department or like police, like some kind of police program. But he actually had passed from COVID, and he is just acknowledging the love of his, well, first off, the love of his wife. Just like, and then I'm picking up like a C name, like a Charlotte, or like something with a C. Okay, it might not be a Charlotte, but some like a Cindy Charlotte, something close to that. And he's just saying, I know it hurts, baby. I know the pain hurts, but I'm there with you. I'm coming through. I'm finding any means necessary to come through. I'm here for you. I'm here for the kids. I love those kids. You know it. We're so lucky. Just concentrate on the fact that we just spent all this whole beautiful life together. Just think about all of the beautiful life and how grateful we are that we got this much time. and he's referring to some kind of accident or something that happened in the past that could have been the end of their time together, and then how that obviously didn't transpire that way, and they were able to continue on with their marriage and their family, and just how grateful he is. So he just
This is Erik right now with the reading you're given.
Ow!
He's singing hallelujah to me, actually, Erik.
Okay.
You know that song by Pentatonics there when they sing it?
Yes.
Hallelujah. Yeah, he's like, but he's not a very good singer. Don't
No.
He's
Mama.
he's like, he's going, hey. He goes, don't call me skinny either.
He was better than he thought, because I've heard him like just tear it up.
I gotta ask you, was he
song,
ever
but when he
was
really
he
wanted to,
learning
he
the
sang pretty
banjo?
well.
Was he ever learning the banjo or something with the banjo?
He wanted me to learn the banjo, so I picked
Oh,
it up.
okay.
And
Because he keeps
My
calling me
son.
the banjo.
My
and,
son.
Like,
Erik.
finger picks. No,
Erik is
no.
my son's guide.
Oh my God.
And my
I
son
love
has
the
my
banjo. This is percussion too, man.
and I had no idea. Abbey, I think you're picking up on that because my son, yeah.
I don't have time. Once I started Atlanta Scalar, I don't have time to do my banjo. I miss it.
You got to do more.
Ugh. Okay, go for it. What else?
And then there's also another name of somebody else coming through. Her name is Mary. I don't know that she particularly died of COVID, but I think that
This is a blanket. Yo, Abbey, this is a blanket for there's Mary. This is a blanket reading.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
There's more than one Mary. You're
okay.
more than one Mary.
Okay, I just got a Mary B.
Yeah, and there's more. And you're picking up a blanket reading, and there's a lot of people are going to relate to this. Abbey, you're picking up on a collective.
Ooh.
Keep going.
I'm also picking up on a very specific Mary B. And then also the name Florence. And both these women are coming through.
Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
Can't hear either.
Uh-oh.
You know, this sometimes happens when we go live because the energy is so strong.
I know. Abbey, say that again. You started saying about Florence. What else?
Okay, so they came through, and they're just letting us know that they passed together, and they didn't particularly. I don't think they passed from COVID, but they passed of like they didn't pass of COVID, but basically they recognized how hard it was on their families, that they didn't get that time with them before they passed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying to stop rationalizing it, that things happen for a reason and it's inevitable, and that the universe works in mysterious ways. So they're just giving hope and solace to the fact that this is going to come to an end, and there's going to be more people in our situation, but they actually pre-chose this, and they're saying that it was better off that it happened this way for both of them. Yeah. That they actually didn't have that time at the end with their family.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're saying no regrets, love and no regrets.
You know what? We're going to have to close pretty soon. But you know what I think would be really cool is to have a regular thing with us, and maybe Laura can join us next time.
Erik,
where we just say messages from people, messages from loved ones.
Yes, that's exactly what he's saying. But he wants to. He's got to put this out there. Check your pictures. Check your pictures of your Christmas tree. Look at the ornaments that light up. Look at the orbs. Check the pictures of your Christmas tree. And he's also talking about the COVID. And he's saying, yes, this was meant to be. And you know what? It brought our families together. It brought people together. It brought us out in the outdoors. It's healing Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, there's a Bruce from I think he's New Jersey or Jersey, and something about him being a journalist, and he's coming through right now saying, I'm giving peace and love to my family.
Oh, Bruce? you said?
Bruce. Yeah, like a B name, like a Bruce.
Yeah,
Or
Bruce.
a Bernard, or something like that, from Jersey, New
Bruce.
Jersey, originally, and he's a journalist or into journalism. And he's just thanking everyone for just for the time that he got to share with them, and love and peace to everyone.
It's awesome.
Think about the work, all the work that your moms and grandmas do cooking for y'all. Okay, that's definitely Eric.
That's Eric, all right.
Thank your moms and your grandmas for all the cooking they do for y'all for Christmas. You know, the meatballs and shit and the ham. I mean, we know we love that shit. Thank them, because they do this out of love, and it's not easy. Who the fuck does the dishes? Not us. They do. They clean up after your ass. Thank them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank me, people, kids, husband. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, so this was really awesome, and I think it could be a regular. I first of all want to wish everybody a happy holiday, regardless of
Happy holidays.
hair, just happy. And I want you guys to share your information so they know how to get in touch with you. And then I also want to talk to you later about maybe doing this on a regular basis. But let's go ahead and Abby, you want to share your information first, how they can get in touch with you?
Sure. So my name is Abbey Dagnies, and my group is Brightside Medium. And I have a page and the Facebook group, and I do have a website, but I kind of have to play around with it a little bit. But
So Brightside Mediums is a Facebook group or Facebook page?
a page and a group.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Heather, what
Just
about
private
you?
message me, or yeah.
Well, you can find the three of us, especially on Emerald City Psychics. We got together to kind of, do things together. But you can friend me on Facebook, Heather Hilton Hartford. Hilton like the hotel, and Hartford like the city. Friend me on Facebook. I would love to have you friend me. I have a Facebook page called Common Ground Cafe, and my website is Common Ground Healing. And I just opened my schedule. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Y'all text me that so I can remember when I post this. Everything just beep, 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 not good, not going well with the old lady.
I hear you, Mamacita. Fucking
Yeah, right. All right. So, and also you guys, if you guys need any help from Eric and the Divine Team, which is a whole bunch of beings and things, then go to AtlantisScalar.com.
Oh my God, the healing I got from that was amazing.
.com. Oh, tell them.
Oh my God, it was amazing. It wasn't right away. It like happened over time.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Yep, it's a magical.
I can't put it into words, but I'll try to, and I'll post it.
No, we use scalar energy because it's an informational energy that does not degrade over time, and it's amazing. Thank you, Nikola Tesla. All right, y'all. See you. Happy holidays. I love you all, and you guys. Y'all get in touch with you about all that stuff. All right.
That's right.
Okay, love y'all.
Love you too, Mama.
Bye.
Bye.